I'm Dr. Dave Janda. Welcome back to our ongoing health and wellness series. We have been doing this series for the past 6 years. And needless to say, many people have gotten in touch with me since the election event on November 5th, 2024, and said, Dave, what's being talked about in the healthcare world about nutrition, wellness, you've been talking about this in your videos, in your video series for 6 years. And the truth be told, I've been actually talking about this for over 30 years with my work in prevention. But it is very reassuring that we're now seeing steps being brought forward of identification of the incredible benefits of having the foundation of nutritional support. And one of the best people in our country, if not the world, we can continue this discussion with you on, to educate and empower you, is with Brett Bashawati. He is one of the top nutritional experts in our country and, frankly, the world. His background, he is CEO of Good Herbs and expanded the company's vision by developing My Total Nutrition. He's been the CEO since 2005. Brett has over 40 years of experience in product development and manufacturing, focusing on the nutritional side of the equation. And Brett has played a pivotal role in advancing natural health products based, and this is key, on science-based, clinically verified research. The products Brett and I speak about today, and more information, because that's key, you can find at operationfreedomhealth.com. We also have a video on that platform, free, about the 12 bad foods. And you'll notice what you're going to hear discussed in the coming weeks and months out of Robert Kennedy. You will see in this 12 bad foods video. And it's an issue that Brett has been speaking about for many, many years. Now, we still have the Biden economics problem and the crashing of the economy problem. And that's going to, I believe, potentially get better, but it's going to take time. Which is why what we're doing to make these nutritional products, which should be the foundation of your health and wellness, available for you, more available, is if you go to operationfreedomhealth.com and you purchase product, if you put the coupon code FREEDOM when you check out, you get a 10% discount. So we're trying to give you as much information as possible, enough recommendations from experts such as Bresh Bashawati, and we want to make it as financially feasible for you to focus on your health and your wellness. Because if you think Big Pharma is going to do that, or Big Medicine, or the medical industrial complex, well, I believe that's an exercise in futility. It's my honor to welcome back Brett Bashawati. Brett, welcome back to the Operation Freedom Health and Wellness platform.
Thank you, Dr. Janda. Great to be back.
So Brett, I want to focus on, because one of the pushes we get is, Dave, I eat all organic. I eat healthy foods. I eat foods out of my garden. And that's really all I need to do. So today I want to really delve into this issue of why food alone is not enough. Because this is really important, because this is, I believe, the biggest stumbling block for people in really becoming nutrified to the point where it positively affects their health and wellness. So educate us, Brett. You're the expert.
Yeah, so it's kind of funny because I lived in that same kind of theory 10 years ago. So a lot of people that know about us, that have followed us for decades, we were a standalone company, an herb company only that promoted and talked about get your nutrition through your food, take your herbs appropriately. But then what I started seeing 10, 15 years ago, a lot of my master herbalist brothers and sisters all over the country were eating organic, were taking their herbs daily, but they had significant health problems. And they were dying really, really young, like in their 50s and 60s. So I'm like, whoa, wait a minute, something is wrong. So this is when we teamed up with Dr. Wallach, known as the dirt doctor, the mineral doctor, 10 years ago, and married nutritional supplementation with herbal supplementation. And it's been mind-boggling moving forward with everything we've seen in the last 2 years. So there was a famous, everyone knows about Hippocrates, the godfather of medicine, right? He had a very famous saying, eat food for thy medicine, medicine for thy food. And 2,000 years ago, that was true, and that was right, because we had ample amount of minerals in the soil. But at 3 o'clock, Monday, September 4th, 1882, that all changed. And what changed, and no one's talking about, is Thomas Edison flipped the switch and turned on the light, turned on electricity. Within 10 years following that, all industrial nations had transferred fuel from wood to electricity. Now, why is that important? People will say, well, there was great advancement with that. We could work longer hours. We had light. We had more resources. And that is all true. There was great benefit, but then there was consequences that followed. If you look back, we used to use all of our wood to cook our food, to heat our homes, to make light with candles. Well, what did we do with that ash? So remember, that ash is just not substance that is undefined. That is 95, 98% minerals. So we took those ashes, we sprinkled them into the gardens, and we mineralized our soil. Now, the problem with minerals is humans can't make minerals.
No.
If we could, everyone would be rich because we would be making silver and gold like it was going out of style. But we can't make minerals. Only nature and God can make minerals. So over time, the depletion of not replenishing minerals in our soil got worse and worse and worse, to the point in 1936, there was a Senate document bill 264 called the Mineral or the Modern Man document. And that document stated in our own Senate in the United States of America that there is not enough minerals in our soil to satisfy the daily need of the human body anymore. So 1936, we knew this almost 100 years ago, and we are still only putting in 3 minerals because plants only need 3 minerals. The human body needs 60 minerals just to satisfy the daily need of stress of life. So this is why it's become so important not only to eat organic and non-chemical foods just because you don't want the chemicals.
Right.
But if you think you're getting your nutrition with your minerals, your vitamins, your amino acids, if it's not in the soil, it's not in our food. If it's not in our food, it's not in our body. So we now must, unfortunately, with supplementation to ensure that we are still getting nutrients into our system. And the other thing, too, if we look at the 20 longest living cultures today, they still use firewood.
Oh, interesting.
And they still put that firewood in their garden, the ash into their garden. So real funny story is we know a lady, she was 118 years old, and they kind of called her a little odd. And she lived out of Texas, and what she would do, and she lived on a ranch, and so all her ranch workers also lived very long, and she would take the wood ash from her fire, and she would use that as her salt, not knowing what she was doing, but she would sprinkle it on their food to make it taste better, and that's how they were getting mineralized. And she lived to be 118 years old. The big thing is with quality of life. She still lived on her own. She still drove a car. She was kind of right there. She had great recall and memory. She had no aches and pains, and she was able to live a quality life for 118 years.
Incredible.
Yeah. And,
So,
and it's that simple.
So, so then, Brett, the next question is this. Okay, all right, you convinced me. I had no idea wood ash, that Thomas Edison, although brilliant as he was, actually had a lot of great things that helped with his inventions, and in particular electricity, but actually kind of screwed the pooch when it comes to folks' health and wellness, because we weren't no longer taking that wood ash and putting it into our fields, putting it into our food sources, if you will, our gardens and the like. So then the question, Brett, is this. Okay, you convinced me. I have to supplement. Well, many people, and here's the second problem we get into. Not just, well, I'm just going to eat my way to health because all the nutrients are in the food. Wrong. I think you've addressed that very aptly. All supplements are the same. So I'm going to go to the grocery store and I'm going to look for something with minerals in it, and I'm going to get that, and I'm going to take that one pill every day, and that'll do it. Well, they're not all the same, right, Brett? This is very important.
Yeah, and it's really key. And they're not. There's some great companies out there. There's some great products out there. But when we look at the full spectrum of products, there are cofactors that need to be present into the products. Also, it needs to be bioavailable to the human body so we can absorb it, get it into the bloodstream so the body can utilize it. But what we see a lot of time is what we call fractionated nutrition, where they're putting 1, 2, 3 different supplementations. So like you'll see a lot of times like calcium. Let's use calcium as a great example. So you can go and you can get a calcium citrate. And that's all that's in there. Well, calcium also needs boron, it needs magnesium, it needs vitamin D, and it needs several other cofactors for the body to assimilate and utilize it properly. Now, the other problem that we see, and you'll see our calciums in a powder or a liquid, and that's done on purpose because the human body needs a lot of calcium. Okay. What happens is if I look at a calcium citrate, for example, and I take a 500 milligram capsule, 250 milligrams of that capsule is going to be calcium. 250 milligrams of that capsule is going to be citrate. So now we're down to 250 milligrams. Then if we look at data from a laboratory, a third-party laboratory, not even from our data, what you see on the market a lot of times is these calciums is only about 15, 20% absorbable. So now we're getting really, really low. So to satisfy the daily need where the human body needs, and this is someone that is like a couch potato, not exerting a lot of energy. The more active you are, the more you need. So a non-active person, let's say a 100-pound person, needs 1,000 milligrams of calcium. Well, if you look at that data point, I just gave you the data on calcium most likely on the market. You would have to take 60 of those capsules just to satisfy the wear and tear of that day. Not to repair anything, but the stress of life. Ours, you get 1,200 milligrams of calcium, plus you get all the cofactors in a very bioavailable substance where it is up to 98% absorbable. So you know you're getting ample amount of calcium, not only to satisfy the stress of life of that day, but also to give you a little extra to start filling up your nutritional reserve tank so the body can use it when it needs, when stress really sits in. And stress could be as simple as I'm going for a 5K run. You're putting a lot of stress on your body because when you sweat, that's not just salt, it's not just electrolytes. It's all 60 of your mineral soup. You are sweating it all out. So you actually have to replenish it or the body starts to break down. This is why we see a lot of professional athletes, when they're about 50 years old, their body starts breaking. It's because they've sweated out all their mineral soup.
And that brings us to, so the products you're talking about are the foundation pack, correct?
Yes, that's correct. So
so that provides the 90 essential nutrients with their cofactors to enhance the bioabsorbability. People
Yes.
That's the, and you hammered that, and that's very important because you take all this stuff, but if your body's not absorbing it, it doesn't matter.
It does not matter.
Okay, so talk about the foundation pack here, about the 90 essential nutrients that are involved in the foundation pack.
Yeah, so the foundation pack has 16 minerals, 16 vitamins, 12 amino acids, and 2 essential fatty acids, going up to 90 essential nutrients. Now, it's called essential because the body does not make it. So we have to ingest it for the body to utilize it properly. So this pack, and everybody who, everyone always asks, well, who should be on this pack?
Right.
As long as you're breathing, you should be on this pack because you're not getting this in your food. It is impossible, as we just outlined why it's impossible today. A little bit different when Hippocrates was around 2,000 years ago. So in this pack, you're going to get a product called Beyond Tangy Tangerine. That's our multivitamin, multi-mineral pack. It's a powder. It's a wonderful product. You use a scoop, mix it into your favorite juice or water. Mixes really easy, and then you drink. And then we need more, so we're going to need more like calcium and magnesium, opposed to what we're going to need like with copper, selenium, and zinc. We don't need as much. So we have another product called the OsteoFX, which is our high-powered calcium, magnesium, which we just discussed in some length there in this pack. Then you're going to get the Prohoba Omegas to get your essential fatty acids, your omegas 3s, 6 and 9s. And then we're going to give you a bottle of the plant-derived minerals. Minerals are so important, as we just talked about. And so that pack carries 4 products that give you all 90 essential nutrients, but in recipes that not only the body can absorb, but also with science-based, clinical verified, the amounts your human body needs on a daily basis to survive all mechanisms of the human body.
Now, Brett, when I take mine, I take my tangy tangerine, put my scoops in, right? Dilute it with water. Then I use the liquid Oscal, the calcium, and I do my tablespoons of that, and then I take my plant-derived minerals and put that in there, and I mix it all up, right? And boom.
Yep.
Okay. Am I doing that right?
You're doing it right.
Okay. So then some people that do that, and everybody has different tastes, right?
Yeah.
So they go, yeah, but it's helped me, but the taste, taste is fine for me. I'm great with it. Yeah.
Yes.
But some people will say, I don't like the taste. Okay. So what are some tricks people can do on the taste side to make it so that they look forward to drinking it?
Yeah.
As opposed to, I take this, but maybe I'll do it every other day because I don't like the taste. Although it's very rare we hear that, but still, I think we should address it.
Yeah, and you'll see. So when you go to Operation Freedom Health, there are 3 different types of packs that we show that can help people, and they're mainly for the taste. Okay. So the Tangy Tangerine 2.5 is a tropical tangerine taste. So that's going to give you that taste. The original foundation pack is a tropical berry taste. Both of them are going to give you all 90 essential nutrients. They're both going to be fantastic in supplying the body what it needs every single day, but the taste will kind of change a little different. Now, there's a couple things we can do with all of them, but especially the 2.5. The tropical tangerine mixes really well, and I encourage people to try this. I actually learned this from Dr. Glidden, and it actually, I have it right here. And get organic pineapple juice. Pineapple juice is going to be anti-inflammatory, first of all, so it helps knock down inflammation. Then do 1 scoop of the osteo, or you can put your liquid osteo in, 1 scoop of the tangerine, and 1 ounce of the plant-derived minerals. Mix it up, and it's a very good tropical flavor. Tastes really good. You can also put this stuff in your own smoothies. So if you're making smoothies with your berries and strawberries and whatever you like, you can put it in. People really enjoy it that way. The other thing you can do with the osteo, so let's say we need to ramp up because we have so much stress going on in our life, and we need to do 2 ounces or 2 scoops of the osteo. And this is when sometimes the liquid is better because it can be easier. So you would do one ounce of the OsteoFX with 2 ounces of either freshly squeezed orange juice or organic orange juice. And you mix it there. It tastes like literally an orange sickle that you would eat for pleasure in the afternoon. I can get children, 5-year-olds, 6-year-olds, 7-year-olds, to take their osteo by doing the organic orange juice with 1 ounce of the OsteoFX. And this especially, I like the liquid, especially if you have to take 2, 3, 4 ounces a day. This is a really great way to take it. And you take it down like a shot. It's only 3 ounces, boom, it's gone. You'll be like, huh, that tasted pretty good. Tasted just like an orange sickle.
Well, and actually, with the way I do it, with all three in the same thing, I use a little whisk, like those hand-powered whiskers, right? You put some air in it, and for some reason, the taste normally without that is fine, no problem. But with that, it actually is even better. Now, you bring up children. So many people say, Brett, okay, I'm going to do this for me, an adult. But what about my kids? Is it safe for them? And number 2, what about my friend who's pregnant? Is it safe for her? Can you address those 2 issues? Kids and pregnant. Women who are pregnant.
So especially according to Dr. Wallach, and he talks a lot about this. You know, he's very famous that he's made more women pregnant than any other man alive, and his wife always says through supplementation.
Yeah, right.
But you have to make sure, and we're seeing a lot of problems with kids today that are coming out and they have no nutrition whatsoever because mom was under nutrified.
Right.
And the longer we go away from no minerals in the soil, the more we see of this. So we always recommend to do 3 months of the foundation pack before you even try to conceive. Then once you are pregnant, you continue on because you're going to give all those nutrients to not only yourself, but to the baby to develop all their organs. And it works really well. And then when you get a little bit tired, you get a little bit sick, well, what we recommend is add the plant-derived minerals. So my wife ended up needing 6 ounces of the plant-derived minerals during both pregnancy because not only does your body need it, but baby's taking it. So you have to find that Goldilocks for you with the plant-derived minerals to give you some extra. So, and you'll be amazed, your morning sickness will be minimal to non-existent, but your tiredness will really improve. So my wife kept on getting tired, so we kept on getting more until we found her Goldilocks. And once she was doing 6 ounces of the plant-derived minerals, she never got tired again. And she actually had a very easy pregnancy, all the way even up through delivery was fairly easy as well.
And they said, and for kids, this is something kids can take.
Then they kick on. So if you're breastfeeding, moms still take the foundation pack. You'll pass it along to the children. And then when they start eating solid foods and stuff, then you can, and all we do is, obviously they're smaller, so they don't need as much volume. So instead of doing a full scoop, do maybe a quarter scoop. And as they get bigger and bigger, and then once they're about 50 pounds, give them half the scoop. And if you introduce them at a young age, the taste, the flavoring does not bother them. No. They have not been Americanized with their taste buds of a ton of sugar.
And Brett, let's close with this. We mentioned clinically verified, research-based recommendations. Let's address this at the conclusion of our presentation here today. 10,000 people have been studied that have utilized the foundation pack. Give our listeners what was found in those 10,000 folks.
Yeah, so over the last 10 years, this was not a double-blind clinical study. This was an observation study through a lot of professionals that are recommending and giving these products to their clients or patients. And what we saw across the board out of 10,000 people, no matter what element that they were trying to get over or improve upon, 83% of those 10,000 got their desired goal just with the foundation pack. No other add-ons, no herbal supplementation, no extra nutrients, just with the foundation pack. So what we always recommend, especially that first month when you don't know where to start, what to go and do, get on the foundation, take it for a month, see how far you bounce back. And what we usually see within the first 3 days is you're going to see improved energy. You're going to see better sleep patterns. You're going to wake up feeling more refreshed and ready to tackle the day. You don't need that cup of coffee to get you going. And your mood stabilization, if we have mood swings going on, it just stabilizes. And so that makes it really exciting for your spouse as well. But we'll see that across the board. And then whatever you're trying to improve on, maybe you have stiff joints and you want those joints not to be stiff in the morning. Well, over time, and it can be early or it can be later, you'll see all of a sudden you wake up and your joints are not as stiff. And you just feel much better. But that's what we see, and that's where we always start. Now, we can take it and you're like, okay, I feel better. I'm feeling good, but man, I need a little bit of extra. Then we can use some herbal therapeutics for that. We can use some additional nutrition for that. But we always just recommend start with the foundation, see where you bounce, and then we can always add something in the second month.
Brett, I'd like to thank you for your time today. I'd like to thank you for your expertise on this issue because, again, it is woefully lacking throughout the medical world. I thank you, Brett, for everything you have done, are doing, and will do. OperationFreedomHealth.com, Foundation Pack. Thanks for joining us today. Until next time, Dave Janda signing off. Dream big and dare to fail. Thanks for your time today, folks.